Storytelling is an art to make your story stand up and really speak on another level. So while you're drafting your story, you're always telling the story of a turning point. Whatever be the story, there'll always be a turning point, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, it's just an anecdote. And honestly, nobody's interested in reading an anecdote. So what I've learned from Laura Martin is that stories are fundamental to how we think about the world, but more so how we think about ourselves and how others see us. In fact, Daniel Older has shared his knowledge on storytelling, where he kept the 3 C's as fundamentals. The 3 C's are character, context, and conflict. Character is like the most obvious thing that needs to work. For the characters have to be alive in your story. And no matter what your characters are, like, could be anything, robot, dragon, whatever in its actuality, you have to care about them. Character development is also you have to work on, like the little details about the characters that tells us who they are, what decisions they make, how they dress themselves, and how they speak. These little details will also matter to the reader. And the engine of your story is the desire of your main character. The desire here means that what they want to do, and that actually pushes everything forward. And as the character grows, their desire may develop with them. The moment the reader invests in the character's desire, it fits. It totally fits. So let's get back to the backbone of story, that is conflict. The second C. You need to have an understanding of the questions of conflict, like what's at stake in your story, what are the consequences, and what leads to those consequences. Robert McKee says that conflict is the music of story. He actually wrote a great book called Story. So you need to figure out your conflict to understand and know what's at stake, what is good, what is bad, what is to gain, and what is to lose. You want to keep it moving, so you better deliver something interesting with different layers and different dynamics. And yes, conflict is your opportunity to do that. This allows you to play with a more complex ending. You simplify your complex dynamics and you simplify your ending. The next fundamental aspect, or the third C, is the context. Context is thinking about place, time, and power. You marry them all. And that's how a place can really come into life. That place could be anything. Consider it a room. But you need to tell the readers what matters the most about that room. Without a context, it's just lazy writing and doesn't give the readers anything to hold on to. So yeah, context lets you change the entire story. It's based on what you want to keep in the frame, like who do we see, who do we not see, who has the power, what are the characters experiencing of that place, and so on. So yeah, all these things are part of telling the story, and they all do make a difference if you're paying attention to them more and more. Like, character needs attention, conflict is the backbone, so it of course needs attention, and the context plays a role itself. So don't worry, don't be a perfectionist. Just put the words on the page. Tell your story. Yes, that's the rule. Alright, that's all to keep in mind while you're drafting your story. Stay tuned.